Okay, this is about brackets, this question really. So I hope you know that everything on the outside must multiply everything on the inside. So I'll just get some of the notation done first. So for example, if I did y times by y times by y, that's the same thing as writing y cubed, isn't it? And if I did 3 times by f, then that would be the same as writing 3 times by f. So if you're happy with that notation, then we can answer these questions. So it looks like to me that the first thing we've got to do is multiply that e by the 3e on the inside, and we've also got to multiply that e with the minus 5. We mustn't forget that bit. Okay. So what is e times by 3e? Well, because of the notation we've just checked, that's the same thing as writing e times by 3, isn't it? Or 3 times by e times by e. Doesn't matter the order. And I know that e times by e means e squared. So I'm just rewriting it to make it convenient for me. I'm going to put the numbers go before letters, because maths is more important than English, and 3 times by e is 3e squared. Okay, and of course we've got to do now e times by that minus 5. So that's going to be minus 5e. And so all we need to do now is just write those two down together. So the final answer is going to be 3e squared, oh I'm sorry, I'm off camera, but the answer is 3e squared take away 5e. Alright. Okay, so now looking at this second question, 35 plus 5e, we've got to factorise it, which means we've got to take out something, a factor, that's in both of those terms. Now, what do they share? What has 35 got in common with 5f? Well, they don't share a letter, but they do share a number. They've both got a 5 in them. And I know that 7 5s are 35, and I know that 5 times by f can be written as 5f. And so that's the answer. We have factorised it. Okay, the last one, 4pq squared all to the power of 3. That to the power of 3 has to operate on everything inside the brackets. So I'm going to expand them, so it means 4 to the power of 3, p to the power of 3, and q squared to the power of 3. And now I can do the bit of maths, because I know that 4 to the power of 3 means 4 times by 4 times by 4, which is 64. P to the power of 3 means p cubed. And a bit of indices laws here. 2 3s are 6, so that's q to the power of 6. And if you're not happy about that last bit, then you need to look up indices. I would read this very carefully, because there's some mistakes here which you really don't want to make. For example, people adding things like 35 plus 5f makes 40f, which is just horrible. So please don't do that. So do pause and read that very carefully. And you couldn't leave it as 4 cubed, you had to write 64. And the mark scheme, well, we can see we've got the answers right, and these are B marks, you just have to get it done.